the essence of the Nigerian content is going to fail because you don't have the people who will occupy those positions. And then what is the essence? I'll give you another example. In the banking sector, from a certain position, no person can be appointed without approval of the Central Bank of Nigeria, AGM and all that. In the shipping sector, there is no structure. So you find the foreigners employing people, taking up every single position. Wherever they want is where they will allow a Nigerian to reach the maximum. Beyond that, you can't go. So on the policy level, the Ministry of Transport, on an academic level, the Maritime University, and then also on the government level, the implementation level, the Nigerian Content Board should sit together and agree that the kind of structure you have in the banking sector should also operate in the shipping sector.
So do we need some regulations?
Thank you. So that at a certain level, by the time the university churns out professionals, at a certain level, any employment by any shipping line must get the clearance of whatever government authority, whether it's the NIMASA or whether it is most likely the Nigerian Content Board, to be sure that is there no Nigerian that can occupy this position before you bring in a foreigner. And for Nigerians to be able to occupy the position, you need that capacity building by the Maritime University. And I think we should actually have 2 universities.
Well, if you look at how far we've gone as far as the controversies was concerned, but how relevant and important this sector or this university really is. Look at the export processing zone, for example.
Okay.
And you look at the what the NLNG is doing with building the trains for gas.
Yes.
Down there in Bayelsa, offshore.
Yes.
And you put the entire Niger Delta basin into consideration. Do you think we should have set up this university 10 years ago, 20 years ago?
30 years ago.
Maybe 30.
Yes. When the World Maritime University was set up 34 years back, 1983, we should have done that within maximum a decade after the World Maritime University was set up. Other countries were doing it. It's in Sweden. Nigerian government officials go to Sweden. Believe me, between then and now, 34 years ago, check the amount of foreign exchange paid to all the foreigners that have held positions in the shipping industry, including at the bottom of the rung, that is, the Filipinos who do the deckhand jobs. That is the major economic power source in the Republic of Philippines. They are deckhands. And they occupy that worldwide, particularly in this country. So if we had set that up 30 years back, worst case 20 years back, where this country is now is not where it will be in terms of Nigerian content, in terms of revenues, and there will be less pressure on the Naira. It's a complete value chain.
If we look again at the Niger Delta, why this university is situated, you think this has been a very good decision by the Buhari's administration to say reopen it because we're negotiating with the militants in the Niger Delta. This looks like one of the things that they would want to be done so that they have a feel of inclusion in the Nigerian enterprise.
I think the decision was right in every single parameter. It was agreed, it was negotiated, it was conceived, it was agreed. It was conceived along with about 12 or 14 other universities at the same time. So the Federal University, Otuoke, Duse, and Co. So why did the others go fine and this one has been controversial? And in any case, it should be in a maritime domain, not in on just pure on normal land, and so that people, when they want to do the practicals, they understand it.
It's just their backyard.
Just the backyard, of course.
This was what the looking at last year, around July last year, the Transport Minister, Honorable Minister Rotimi Amici, says that this university was not it. That's what he told. He told a committee, the Senate Committee on Maritime Transport, headed by Senator Ahmed Sani, on January the 14th last year, that the existing structures, whatever had been put in place at this Maritime University in Delta State, was not it, and that it should actually, the university was not worth it. It's not favorably disposed to it. But this university will have to work with the Transportation Ministry. How do you think we will go from here resolving this?
I haven't seen any justification in what the minister said. I haven't seen justification why the university wasn't going to go. is not worth it. I'm not saying the parameters for why it should not be on. I'm not saying it. If in the first place there was a vice chancellor appointed from Professor Tebu, I believe, if I'm not wrong, there were some structures on the ground, about 12 structures. Land had
and reports said also the central bank has, the university has a bank account, according to a newspaper report. Yes, okay. It has an account with the central bank.
All right, and NIMASA is the main driver.
Yes.
NIMASA wouldn't have, NIMASA is Nigeria's appointed agency at the International Maritime Organization, IMO. So at IMO, for NIMASA to have set it up, driven it, I mean, there must have been a good justification for that. So, very important, and I always say this, for very important development projects in this country, never politicize it. Whatever may have been the politics behind it, let that go, be kept aside, and let the sector develop, devoid of politics. Because there was a lot of hue and cry at the time, whether the Honorable Minister's cancellation of or purported cancellation of the university at Okeren Koko in Delta State was based on politics. And I said, look, there was a feasibility study done and approved. All the universities were approved by the Federal Executive Council. Now, I don't know, but procedurally, I'm a lawyer. If the Federal Executive Council has approved something, the minister cannot come back to cancel it. It doesn't make sense because the Executive Council is higher than he is. In any case, there's no need to talk about spilt milk. We've gone beyond that. The president has approved that it should be reopened.
So we got to let the university move on.
Exactly. So let the university move on.
Okay. When it's getting to, we need to talk about this again and see. Maybe you're going to take a visit down there. Would you?
I would. I would very much love to. In the dry season, actually.
You don't know how to swim.
I do. But
you do.
I do.
Yeah, but it's a lot of large seas now.
I know that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Ikena Nwosu, who is a maritime consultant and a council member at the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We're talking about franchising business in Nigeria. Why is it such a difficult issue in Nigeria, not helping the SMEs? We'll be back in 2. Stick around.